I think persons have first-person perspectives essentially, but I think first-person perspectives have two stages. The first stage, the rudimentary stage, is one we share with higher animals because they also are conscious, they have intentionality, and those are the marks of a rudimentary first-person perspective. But in addition to that, we have a capacity that the higher animals don't have, I think, and that is we have the capacity to conceive of ourselves in this as ourselves in the first person, such as if I wonder how I'm going to die, the I there is absolutely indispensable. I'm not wondering how Lynne is going to die. I'm wondering how I'm going to die, so that brings the indispensability of the first person into the robust first person perspective, which I take to be, as I say, I think that animals, non-human animals, do not have robust first-person perspectives. They can't think of themselves. They can't wonder how they're going to die. They can't think of themselves as themselves in the first person, and I think that's what marks us off. So, although we share with the higher animals a rudimentary first-person perspective, when we get a rudimentary first-person perspective, which is probably sometime during pregnancy, I suppose, when we get a rudimentary first-person perspective, if we're humans, we also get the second-order capacity so that we then can learn a language, and we can learn a language that then allows us to manifest ourselves in the first person. So I can say, I can enter a beauty contest. If I enter a beauty contest, it's because I want to win, not just because I want Lynne to win. I want to win.
In some of your recent work, I think you have something to say about how you might accommodate mentally impaired human persons in this as well. So how does that? I mean, you talked about a first-order capacity for a rudimentary first-person perspective, and then a second-order capacity for a robust first-person perspective. So that, in a sense, is what gives an infant the
personhood.
Personhood.
Right.
So what then of a mentally impaired human person who won't go on, let's say, to develop a robust first-person perspective? How do you say that the mentally impaired human person is a person, whilst the higher animal is not a person?
I want to say that he or she is a person because he or she is a human organism, and this human organism develops a rudimentary first-person perspective, in virtue of which now this organism is a person. And that person, and it's a person in virtue of having a rudimentary first-person perspective, whether it goes on to get a robust one or not. But it still had the capacity, in some sense, to develop a robust first-person perspective. But so that's one reason I use the capacity language rather than any categorical language.
And you talk about as well about the idea that a thing needs to be of a kind that would normally go on.
Right.
So in that sense, is that what accommodates the?
Yeah, that would do it.
The mentally, but yeah.
But I think actually looking like us, being an organism, is going to be enough to say, even if you don't develop a robust first-person perspective, you're still a person.
But there will be other organisms that are non-human that would also develop rudimentary first-person perspectives.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, your dog.
So the kind then is important, because you're not saying the dog is a person, right?
No, I'm not. But they do have a rudimentary first-person perspective. But actually, I don't think they have a first-person perspective, rudimentary or robust, essentially.
Okay.
A dog, I think, can be still a dog, because a dog is a dog because of its species, not because of its capacity, I think.